So now that we're done the haircut, so we did a bald medium fade, kept it nice and tight all the way up. We're now gonna fade the haircut into the beard. So fading the beard into the haircut is super important because now we're gonna structure his facial structure into the haircut. And everything should look tighter from the size of his face, and everything should blend down where when you're fading up in the haircut, you're fading up, it's gonna be reverse. So here on Kareem, we're actually going to be doing a burst fade. So we're going to bring the first guideline right at the bottom of the ear. So this would be the lowest point of a beard fade, where you generally be at the bottom of the ear where you're going to start. So we're going to start the first guideline on the right side of the beard. So I'm just going to make sure that I comb the hair down, making sure it sits. So right here, at the bottom of the ear, I'm going to create the first guideline. So I'm just going to shave all that off. Boom. Next step, I'm going to get the liner, the trimmer, to just smooth this out so it's nice and bald. So you don't want to, the trick is you don't want to bring the liner right at the guideline that you created with your clipper, because that's going to make a really hard line and it's going to be very harsh where it's going to be really hard to fade in. So you got to make it easier. So actually use a trimmer just above that. So I would use a finger width over top, and I don't bring it all the way down to the guideline. So now to get on to the next step, I'm actually going to use a foil shaver. I'm going to go right in the center of the ear. I don't go any lower. Now what that did, it made it super bald, so it really goes down to zero. This is kind of the vocal point right here. If you bald it right in the center, right in the middle between the fade and the beard fade, it's really gonna pop because this will be the shortest area. So the next step is taking the bulk down. So right over here, as you can see, Kareem does like his beard nice and full, and it's really dark. But sometimes when you take the beard down, it may turn faint. So you might, by me saying turning faint, you could see, his skin through the beard. So you sometimes got to be careful and play it safe, and usually use a guard higher. So usually if I bring down, take down the bulk with a 2, I probably want to play it safe with the guard up. So I'll put a 3 on. And the shape, so you're asking yourself, where am I going to take the bulk down? Well, you got to see the shape of the beard, right? You have all this room. I kind of use this area here, if it's going to be a burst, to take the bulk down. So think of it like this round area here. Everything within that area. So think about this circle right here. I'm going to take all the bulk down within this circle with a number 3. So I'm actually going against the grain, and as you can see what I'm doing as well, I'm going with the grain. So I have those little I smooth out certain areas just around it. So with the 3, you could actually see right here, the hair is a lot more faint, and you can see a little bit of scalp. That's all fine. If I brought it to a 2, you'll probably see more scalp. So now I'm going to take it step by step by step. So next step is going back to 2. So you're working your way down. So 2, I'm going to keep within that circle that I did the 3, but I'm going to keep it a little higher. So you're probably asking how high or how low I should go. Well, from the first guideline, one of the first guidelines you created with the 3, you kind of see where it's darker. So just work above that, just a little bit above it. Again, about a finger width. And when I'm cutting the hair, I'm always going against the grain. So his beard on this side is moving this way, so I'm going against it. I'm using the corners of the machine to catch the hairs. You can actually hear it. So after the 2, I'm going to put on a 1.5 guard, clip it on, closed. Just work above that. The next will be a 1. So this whole process, the lever is actually closed when you're cutting the hair. Now you can see I'm using my thumb as well to stretch the skin to get a better cut. No guard, open. And then 0 closed. You're just knocking out those lines in between. So it's a lot of corner work you're using when you're fading the beard in, because you're working in such a tight area. Now that I'm done the fade, I'm going to line up around it so I can see how much the fade pops out. I like building the outside first, and then that will really expose the fade to see what you need to touch up and what you need to work on. So there's a little bit of fine tuning as you cut the beard. So I'm going to line it up now on this side. All right, so now that I lined up the outside of the beard, just over the top and the sides, it really exposes the fade where I need to touch up. So I actually didn't go over the liner yet with the 0 to kind of knock out the line, but the clipper actually did the job for me, but I'm just gonna fine tune and touch it up with the corners of the blade. So the trick is to really get in between the areas where you see the little dark spots. And I'm actually stretching the skin so I can catch it. Stretching the skin will always help catch the hair better. So when I'm looking at this fade, I can lighten up a certain area, which is probably where I did the 2 and 1.5. So I could actually go in just a little bit in this area. What I try to focus on a burst fade is actually, when you talk about a burst fade, it actually goes down and kind of explodes, it bursts. So that's what you call a burst fade. So I could touch up a little bit in the inside here just to make it pop out more. So I'm going to go back to 1.5. And you always want to fine tune your work. You could always go backwards, right? And touch up the haircut. The more time and the more effort you put into a haircut, the haircut's going to show the quality. So the 1.5, I'm just working my way in the center. So I'm liking that a lot more. And then I'm going to go back actually with the 2 and just smooth out the outside a little bit. and a little bit in here. So I'm not putting too much pressure, I'm just using the corners again of the clipper just to catch the dark spots. And I'm going against the grain. So I'm just going to work just above his lip, keep it as natural as possible. And it's sort of like it's in a triangle shape. So think about a house, right? The highest point is going to be at the top of the lip, and you're going to shape it in an angle down. Just above the lips. And you're just tapping. You can really see the difference because you could see his actual lip. So now when I'm working above the lip, I actually want to keep it as high as possible because Kareem actually likes it, his beard as full as possible. So depending on the client wants a certain way, we're going to keep it nice and high. So there you have it. On this side, everything keeps really high, goes up, and then the triangle shape just above the lip, very natural. So now I can just copy it on that side. So now that I actually connected the haircut to the beard from the sides, we have a burst fade on both sides. And I actually did line up the outside from the top and the sides. I'm now going to focus just down the center where we want to keep it squared. So all the straggles that we see sticking out, we're just going to hover with our clipper and just freehand it. So you go this way and the other way. But you really want to keep in mind that Kareem wants it pretty squared. So you'll have a little bit, you have it, the vocal point in the middle. So I'll start in the middle. And from the sides here, I'll start shaping it where I'll keep it squared, but it's going to be a little bit rounder from the sides. One of the reasons why we're going to freehand instead of using the guard is because he actually does want to keep it as dark as possible. And sometimes using guards, it can make holes into the beard. So we don't want to take that risk where if we did bring guard all the way down, for anyone's beard, sometimes they'll have like light areas. So you don't want to patch their beard. And I've actually cut Kareem in the past, so we've done a consultation. We worked on his beard many times, and I know that if I did bring it down to 2, you'll see scalp. So freehanding it actually is great where you get to sculpt it into the client's facial structure. And he wants his beard super dark and as full as possible. So I'll start from the middle. I'm just going to hover over, coming down. So that'll be the first point. You could probably see right there what I took. You could see the hair, it's a lot cleaner and smoother. Now from the sides, I'm going to use this as my guideline, and I'm going to pretend there's an imaginary line that keeps it squared all the way through. A lot of mistakes barbers make is actually going too far into the beard. So if they're using this as a vocal point and this is the starting point, some barbers, they take it too far in, so they'll actually push into the beard. So the beard's like makeup. It actually creates a different sculpture, right, with the hair. And if I were to push a little bit further in, I may touch the jawline where I don't want to. So it actually enhances someone's jawline. Under this beard, this person could have like a different type of structure that we don't even know. We don't want to take it there because this is looking great. So on this side, I'm just going to copy what I did on one side. So it's actually important to come straight on so you can see everything. Make sure you comb the hair out. And just work your way to the other side. So one side may be different than the other. So here, I've been shaping and molding his beard, keeping it squared. And I'm trying to round it off a little bit on the sides. I really want to focus more on that, keeping the beard full, wherever I started the fade going down. Just so I want to make sure it's super dark and full. So now we're going to straight blade Kareem's beard. This is really, it's really going to make it pop. So the next part is we're actually going to go over the outline with the straight razor. So we just want to follow that outline that we created. And what's going to happen is that this straight razor is really going to make it pop out. So when you're straight razoring the beard, you want to keep it as natural as possible. You just want to follow the guideline that we created with the trimmer. So I'm going to start from this corner, and I'm using the bottom of the blade. And I'm pulling the skin nice and tight, and I'm just letting the blade glide. So I'm actually doing a dry shave just because I've worked with Kareem before, and his skin's not sensitive at all. So some people, they have sensitive skin. You might have to use like shaving gel or do a hot towel before. But Kareem's got a great skin and a great beard to work with, so we could do it dry. Now I'm going to ask him to tuck his lip in a little bit so it keeps it nice and tight. I'm just going to work. So after I straight razored it, kept it nice and sharp, all the excess hair on top, I'll go with the foil shaver and I'm just going to shave all that up. I'm still pulling the skin nice and tight so you get a good shave. Tuck your lip in, please. Thank you. Just really getting under that nose. Get all those little bits of hairs. There you go. It's that pop. You can see all the hairs that stick out. You can actually get scissors and actually go with the grain and just follow that. So this just gets all the little straggles that a lot of men it bothers them, right? You'll have these like 1 or 2 straggles. So I really could see from this angle. That really keeps it smooth. It's going with the grain and the contour of his beard. Okay. Last part is just working under the beard. So you really want to keep the cape nice and low so you can see under. I'm just going to go up because this keeps it very gentle and doesn't cut the person's neck. It's a very sensitive area around the neck. I've seen some barbers go this way, really go hard. Very dangerous. It can really cut them. So just scoop up. Obviously some people, the direction of the beard goes the other way and you have to go that way. You want to just touch it. You don't want to push it too hard. I've seen a lot of cuts around here once you go against it. So be very gentle with your hand and let the blade do the job. And then from the bottom here, as you can see all the little wispy hairs, you could also just fine tune and just hover over whatever straggles are sticking out. Yeah, that's good. So right after the haircut, I'm just using alcohol and aftershave mixed. I just want to just go wherever I use a straight razor to kind of clean them off so it disinfects everything.